that. Letters have different lengths, and letters have different. So here. Yeah, so الاعتماد على المخرج. Yeah, so like emphasis on the makhraj, and like it's pronounced with strength, like as you would think. So when we say this letter, aqo, we say aqo, and we make some emphasis. And that emphasis is inherent in the qalqala. And then it also exists when we say ak and at. It's kind of putting a full emphasis on the makhraj. And the huruf are these letters, that's what it says. Compared to, for example, the letters that are opposite, which we wouldn't do that, like the letter ba, right? You just say ba. I mean, not the letter ba, we do the letters aside from this, like sa. We wouldn't say like sa. It's like that. So, good. So those are just things I wanted to clarify from last time. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go back to makharij. I'm not going to teach ikhfa because that requires you to know all of the makharij before we get there. So we want to finish the makharij today, inshallah, and we'll take a few more sifat. So if you go to we're jumping all around, but if you go to the page on the makharij of the tongue. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ. He talks about the blessings that He gave us. He says أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْنِ. So He says that did I not make for you أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ, 2 eyes, وَلِسَانًا, and a tongue, and 2 lips, وَشَفَتَيْن. And so the tongue is where most of the sounds originate in every language. And we said here there's 18 letters of the Arabic language that articulate from the tongue, from various parts of the tongue. So last week we did which ones? Qaf and kaf. Qaf and kaf. And we did the distinction between those two. So we said qaf is from the furthest back point on the tongue, almost kind of the throat, and it's from the soft palate. So we said qaf, it's from the soft area, whereas when you say ka, ak, it's a little bit higher and it's from the hard palate. Okay, so today we're going to take the next one. So in front of it, if we're going from the back of the tongue to the front, what's next? Yeah, so the point of the slides is to be a cheat sheet, to encourage some sort of participation. So it's the middle of the tongue, and the letters are jim, sheen, and ya. And so this ya is ya. Didn't we already do the makhraj of the letter ya? Yes or no?
No, I don't remember.
Kind of?
When you was talking about the cavity?
Yeah. So remember when we were talking about the cavity, the jawf, we said that it was ya maddiya. So the letter ya with the sukoon preceded by a kasra. That ya, we said, makes the sound e. Okay? That ya makes the sound e. This ya we're going to study now is not this. It's ya ghayr maddiya, which is ya with a fatha or a kasra or a dhamma. And that ya is going to make the sound u as opposed to e. It's going to be u or ya or yi. Right? Y. Essentially the letter Y. So all 3 of these letters, they spell jaysh, if you need to remember them, which means
Army?
army. So the letters at the middle of the tongue are the army. And jim, sheen, and ya. And these are letters that generally people don't make too many mistakes on because they're universal. The letter jim, sheen, and ya. The point you do need to understand though is the distinction between jim and sheen. Because if you say aj, it becomes a sheen if I hold it. And this is where qalqala plays in as well. So the letter, if I say, right? Okay? So first I should say where these letters are pronounced from. It's basically the middle of the tongue with the roof of the mouth. Okay? So we want to say aj.
Aj.
Now why I said aj is because it has qalqala. So we say aj.
Aj.
and then we have the letter sheen, we say ash.
Ash.
Now one point about sheen is, if you again flip over back to the Sifat page, you'll see that sheen has a quality by itself which is called tafashi, which means spreading out. So this sheen is a letter that's very long. So you say ash. So when we say ashhadu,
Ashhadu.
and you can compare the length. We just said ajib, right? Ajib versus ash.
Ash.
Okay? So we'll take examples. I want to put them out. So that's another letter. And then we have the ya ghayr madiyya, which is just yi. Yi or ya or you. It's very easy. People don't make mistakes. So now, those are the middle of the tongue. And then we'll take, so we have words, for example,
Ijtanibu.
say it again.
Ijtanibu.
Okay, so the qalqala has to be pronounced here, because if you say ijtanibu, it becomes a sheen. Right? And let me pronounce it wrong and right, and you can hear the distinction. If I say ijtanibu versus ijtanibu, ijtanibu, it's much shorter and it's much more, it's pronounced with strength. Now this is the qalqala that's going to be the lowest, right? Because it's in the middle of the word. So we don't say ijtanibu, but we say ijtanibu. So everyone say it?
Ijtanibu.
So the point I want to make is not to say ijtanibu. Because if we say ijtanibu, it becomes a sheen. Because it's the same makhraj.
How do you differentiate between when you're saying it the middle qalqala and the lowest qalqala?
So at the end of an ayah, you're going to place more emphasis. It's a matter of like on a spectrum of emphasis.
So if like a qalqala letter is in the middle of a word, how do you know if it's the middle one or does it?
If the qalqala letter is in the middle of the word, it's always going to be the lowest. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So compare it to, you can compare we did this last week when we did tabbat yada. We said tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabb. So that one is a shadda. Okay? After that it's ma aghna anhu maluhu wa ma kasab. Right? So I said kasab versus wa tabb. And then this is going to be the lowest. This would be ijtanibu. Good. We said. Right? It's kind of weird. Ashtata. Good.
So, the fashi is when it's second, right? And it's in the middle.
So we say that these qualities apply all of the time, right? The quality of tafashi is applicable to the letter sheen.
Right.
Now, in its application for our purposes, they become present when they have a sukoon. But it still retains that quality at all times.
But still, it's
so if you want to say the letter sheen, it's still going to have tafashi, right? Just by itself. If you say she, it's still going to retain that. But when we put a sukoon on it, then we take even more.
Wait, because it's one of the Hamsi letters.
Yeah.
So its Hamsi letters has a little softer.
No, it's not. Hamsa is about whispering. It's not about being soft.
Yeah. No, not but whisper, right?
Yeah, meaning air comes out.
So when you did ash, is it?
So when I say ash, some air comes out. So that would be the hums.
That's hums.
And then the sheen is that it's spreading. It's like ash with the whole like sound. It's kind of you can understand it perhaps to be like an emphasized humps, or even a greater humps.
So more air should come out.
No, I wouldn't say more air. You're not like spitting out air, but it's literally what it is. It's spreading. Ash. It just sounds like that. Ash da ta. right? Ashtata.
Like it's a, yeah. When you say a shamsu, it's
Yeah.
like it has radiation, so.
Washamsu. Everybody say it. Washamsu.
Washamsu.
Yeah. So if you were not to do it, you'd just say washamsu. Right? Washamsu versus washamsu.
Washamsu.
Yeah. So that's where the letter comes. Now we'll move on because I'm taking too long. So the next makhraj is, we said this before, is the letter Dad. Okay? And this is the letter the Arabs are known as what?
Lughatul Bad.
Yeah, Ahlul Dad, the people of Dad. And Arabic is known as Lughatul Dad, the language of Dad. Okay, so this is actually a this letter is unique to the Arabic language. This sound doesn't exist in any other language in the universe. That's what they say. And so it's actually the most difficult, hands down, it's the most difficult letter to correctly pronounce and to correctly enunciate. So there's different theories on actually where this sound comes from. And so the one that I learned is the one that I'll teach, which is it's going to be the left side of your tongue, the entire left side of your tongue against your top, the top left side of your teeth, the back of your teeth. And it's going to be like running along. And this letter also has the quality, if you scroll back, of istitala, which is lengthening. This is the longest letter in the Arabic language. Okay? And you'll understand what that means in a second. Actually, I'll explain it now. The letter ba is going to be really short. Right? Ba, ma. You try to make it long, you say you can't, nothing happens. Right? You can't say or you can't say but you can't say because it's really short. Blad, on the other hand, you'd say well, it's going to be a very long letter. So it has the quality of istitala. Now, how do we pronounce it? We'll take the most fundamental example, which is what? Well, yeah, beyond the just plain second is, yeah. Right? So here we're going to say, this is the word al-dallin. So we'd say, walal dallin. So to get it right, you have to both listen and look. So it's walal dallin. We're going to try it?
Walal dallin.
So common mistakes on this. One is to have air coming out. This is a letter. So when one of my teachers taught it to me, he would actually clench his whole body when he was reciting this letter. So he'd say, walal dallin. So there's absolutely no air. So if you do it as walal da, and you have air coming out, which is the most common way to say it, it's just walal dallin. That's wrong. Okay? So that's the wrong way. Versus walal dallin. I go from the ba to the lam without any air coming out. So everyone try it?
Walal dallin.
One more time.
Walal dallin.
So they also say other alternate pronunciations are you use the right side of your tongue, which is rare, and then both sides of your tongue, which is considered very advanced Tajweed. So we're just going to stick with the basics, because that's tricky enough. Yeah.
Whereas you just put your tongue on the top of your...
It's the whole side of the tongue, running along the top teeth. Walal dallin, walal dallin. So let's do a few examples of this, because this is one that that's going to take a lot of practice.